What's up guys, welcome back to Oak Abode. Today I'm going to be doing the final Ruggable update in this sort of mini series that we've been doing. If you guys haven't been following along, there are a few videos that are precursors to this video. A brutally honest Ruggable review, the follow-up when Ruggable sent us a free rug after we reviewed their rug and came up with a few problems. And then this last one is the main one where we are going to answer a lot of the questions, whether or not Ruggable fixed some of those issues that they had, or some of the issues that we had with the rug that we originally purchased. As always, this is not a sponsored review. If you guys have been following along already on Instagram, our Instagram handle is oak_abode. Then you kind of know what we're going to talk about already. So when we did our original Ruggable review, kind of the biggest thing that we talked about was the curling that we experienced on the rug. We got a lot of comments and feedback on the video, probably about 80–85% of them were people saying that they experienced the curling as well. Other people were also saying some issues that they had experienced that we hadn't personally experienced, like the edges fraying on the rug from vacuuming. By and large, most people were saying that they experienced the curling. Some people were saying that they were putting rug tape down. I pretty much said in the last video that that's not something I'm gonna do just because I don't want to hurt our floors over this. It's not worth it to me. Without further ado, let's just check out the rugs, okay? See if I can get this camera off the tripod here. Okay, so what I'm gonna start out showing you guys is the older Ruggable rug. So when Ruggable sent us the rug, they sent us a replacement for one of the two 8x10s that we got. It's the exact same model as before. So this is the older one that was not replaced with a new rug by Ruggable. So what I am gonna show you guys here is basically that there's still something of a curling issue. And what I wanted to show you guys, if you look really close here, as long as my camera is able to focus, what we're gonna see is a lot of kind of fraying at the edges. And this is what a lot of people were talking about, I think, with how their rug or how their vacuum was tearing up the rug. We did not experience this at first. This kind of took, I'd say, about a year before we started seeing some of this fraying on the edges here. It probably took us about a year before we experienced any major fraying on the edges. Ideally, I think in the past, the key is that most rugs that I have got, like regular area rugs that I have purchased, typically last me around 2 years. Obviously there's wear and tear in the meantime. I think by purchasing Ruggable rugs, I had thought or been somewhat under the impression that they would last longer than a traditional rug. In terms of not talking about the curling, in terms of regular wear and tear, now that we've vacuumed them pretty regularly, I would say probably that 2-year mark that regular area rugs are lasting is probably pretty accurate for the Ruggables as well. I wanted to show you guys the curling as well. So what we have is on the edges, this just sort of general curl along the side. Again, this is the older rug. Happens usually along the corners here too. We did not get the Ruggables with pockets. I've heard that there are some pockets in some of the newer models on the corners, but that's not something that we were able to get. From the people who I've talked to a little bit who have the corner pockets on the rugs, I'm getting mixed responses whether or not they actually fix the curling problem. As you can tell, the curling is kind of all along the edges of the rug. So I'm not sure how much of a difference the new corners make, but if they make a big difference for you and your rugs, definitely comment below and let us know, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna show you another thing that we've noticed since we've had the rugs. Since purchasing them and drying them in a dryer, a lot of people said you need to hang dry for them, not to curl. That's actually completely not true. They curl whether you dry them in a dryer or whether you dry them on a clothesline. It makes no difference. However, if you do dry them in a dryer, I think that is probably not as great of an idea. Number one, because it takes longer for us, at least with our dryer, but number two, because what people are reporting now is that they are shrinking the rugs a little bit, and the problem is that it doesn't fit the underlayment exactly right when it shrinks a little bit. So I'll show you a little bit what I'm talking about. Kind of the regular rug here, and then if you go to the back, you can see that it actually doesn't reach the edge of the underlayment anymore. And we have tried many times to even out the rug so that it's as long as possible, but this is kind of an issue. It's not the hugest deal in the world for us since we just put that part that is showing underneath back where most people can see it, but you know, for a $400 rug, maybe this might be an issue for you. Now, as I'm walking back to this other rug, I'll say we have nothing against Ruggable. Like, a lot of people left some really snarky comments about Ruggable, and we don't have to be rude. There's still people behind that company. Like, our goal is definitely not to hurt them as a company or to shut them down as a company. Just got a lot of questions about this product. I think a lot of people were really curious, so we're just being transparent with you guys. I think still be conscious of the fact that there are people, I'm guessing it's a startup, I'm not positive, but startups have a lot of issues they have to deal with. So I don't think they're bad people by not making these corrections, but I think as consumers that we do want to be conscious of where we're spending our money, right? Okay, now the question of the day. The new rug they sent us, did it end up curling too? And in the same way, was it as bad? Was it any better? Long story short, it's exactly the same as the other one. So all you people saying that I shouldn't put it in the dryer because that's what makes it curl, we've never washed this rug, okay? It never went in the washing machine. We did have one dog throw up on it once, and we cleaned it up the old-fashioned way with Nature's Miracle. This rug has never been washed, never been dried, obviously, and same thing happened, okay? So this is the curling on the edges. Let's see if I can get in focus here. Let me just walk it over for you. So this is the curling, the worst part of the curling right here. Again, what happens is just sort of comes up right there, and I have to come back and press it down, and it just kind of doesn't stick. I can really easily slide my finger under there. So this is about as good as it gets. And then what happens is when the dogs run and they play, they push it up again, and it just comes straight up. So that is the worst edge. Now I'm gonna show you something interesting, because that's the worst edge, and over here, it's pretty much no curling right here. This is really, really good. There's no curling here. That's kind of ideally how we would like to see the rug all the way around. And really no curling going on here. It's nice and flat. So, question is, what's causing this curling right here, right? So that kind of begs the question, what causes the Ruggable rugs to curl, right? Because it's not happening on all the edges. You would think if it was just the product that it might happen all around, but it's not. It's only happening, well, at least for that new rug anyway, that we have not washed, it's only happening kind of on one main edge. I will say with the other rug that we have had for a longer time, you can pretty clearly see that it is eventually happening everywhere. So what's causing it? So my personal opinion is that I think the dogs playing on the rugs back and forth has a lot to do with where the curling is caused, okay? So what I think happens is I think when they're moving at a high speed, high intensity, they are kicking the rug up off the underlayment, and then when it's off the underlayment, I think stuff collects under there, and then no matter how hard I try to clean it, I can never get it all out, so the Velcro-y stuff isn't sticking as well. Like I said, it's not a corners issue. I see a lot of people saying that you just need to tape the corners down, but for us, like even on that other rug back there, the corners weren't curling. It's all along that edge where the dogs run back and forth. So I would say, you know, if you have more of a sedentary home, if you have maybe really little babies, or you have old dogs, or maybe you don't have any pets, you might not have as much of an issue with Ruggable curling. Just look at this little man right here. He's so cute. If that's your situation, you may not have an issue with Ruggable curling. So definitely take it on a case-by-case basis. As far as what we're gonna do about the rugs, where we stand right now, is we spend $800 on 2 rugs. So even though they are not functioning maybe as well as we would like them to, we're gonna keep them until they're no longer contributing to the home. So that kind of lighter one that we have had for about a year and a half, even though it looks like junk now on the edges because of the vacuum and it's curling kind of all over, again, I'm gonna keep it for a while longer. I think when I see the rug that I really want next, I'm gonna go out and get it, but I'm not necessarily gonna throw these away because I think there's some sort of hazard or something. So I'm trying to keep this video relatively simple today, because what I'm gonna try and do next is release the IKEA kitchen cost breakdown for you guys, and I still gotta crunch some numbers yet for that today. But as far as the Ruggables go, I think we're just gonna wrap it up and say that right now we're gonna run them into the ground. We're probably not gonna get any more, because I think the main issues that we have is the curling, and now seeing that the vacuum does tear up the edges after vacuuming probably once a week for about a year. We'll probably just go back to regular rugs, because at least with the regular rugs, I never had to worry about them curling up. Actually, what I did start doing is I started just renting those like Rug Doctor upholstery and carpet cleaners windows and cleaned the basement carpet the other day. And while I did that, I cleaned our upholstery, and I think we're just gonna go back to regular rugs, and probably every 3 or 4 months or so, I'm gonna just be cleaning the upholstery and the carpets anyway, so I'll just go over a few passes on those and keep them clean that way. But that is sort of where we stand right now with these. So if you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. You can always send us a DM on Instagram or leave a comment. I try to respond to most of those. If you're not already following us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What we're gonna be doing next is a little bit more IKEA based stuff. So our IKEA kitchen, we did an IKEA kitchen review as well as an IKEA section cabinets review. If you're considering an IKEA kitchen, some of the pros and cons of those. I'm gonna be putting out that cost breakdown next. Then what's really cool is spring is coming up, so we can get back to more sort of homesteading, gardening type stuff. And I'll show you guys how we grow a lot of our own food on about 1/4 to 1/3 of an acre of land, okay? Again, our Instagram handle is oak_abode. If you haven't already, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel so we can see you again in the future. And I will see you guys at the next one.